Everybody, it's me, Aileen, with Dyspatch, and I got a brand new video where I talk about email localization and how we do it at Dyspatch. It's super short, so come check it out and see how we help you take your email in one language, maybe going to one locale, to many languages and many locales. So come over and check it out with me. I'll see you there. Bye. Hey everybody, today we're talking about localizing emails with Dyspatch. It's me, Aileen, your services lead at Dyspatch, which means that I build emails a lot and I like to think about them and talk about them. But today, specifically, we're talking about how Dyspatch helps your team create localized emails. So first, we're going to talk about what localization is, and then we're going to get right into Dyspatch and take a look at the localization workflow there. And then we're going to wrap it up with some key takeaways and tips that I have about localization in general and in Dyspatch. So first off, what is localization? Localization is creating content that is translated to a reader's language and relevant to their region and culture. So translation is usually just thinking about the language part, but localization takes it a bit further and thinks more about where you're sending it to. So things like the text make sense to change, but anything can change. Things like images, design, colors, layout, whatever makes sense to change to make your email more relevant to the people reading it. So let's hop right in to Dyspatch and take a look at how localization goes. So I have a little email here that I've made. I pulled in all my blocks and I updated all of my content to kind of be a little welcome email. So we're going to hop over to the localizations tab where I can add more locales. So a locale is kind of a version of my template that's specifically for a particular language and place. So let's say English Canada. I'm going to pick my locale code here and create a new localization. So this is kind of where I can decide how I want to localize my email. So it depends on how your team does it, but you can maybe you have someone on your team who localizes. They can come right into Dyspatch and you can localize here directly. So you can see I can change all of my content here and translate it directly in Dyspatch and see it change over here. I can also use one of our integrated tools like Smartling. So I can sync this. That means that my template in its context, but all of the text and images and same things will go all into Smartling to be translated there. And when it's done, I can sync it and it'll pull in my localizations for me kind of automatically. So I'll have all of my template versions for all my different languages and locales kind of created all at once. And then finally, you have the ability to download the translation file. So this is like the template. POT file is a translation template. So I can download that and send it off to any translation service that I want. And they can send me back all of my translated versions. And then I can add multiple via PO file. So I can drop we have some teams who do like 100 of these. So you can drop them all in at once and then have your template translated that way. So I'm gonna hop into, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, it's always good to lock your template while it's being translated. That means that you can see here, the ability to change, that absent block section has disappeared. The ability to change the template while it's being translated has been kind of stopped. That means that my content won't change mid-translation, which is really important. So it's kind of locked down and I can do all my localizing. So let's hop over to one of my templates that kind of my pre-baked version that's already finished here. So all my localizations have come back from either my integrated translation tool or my localization service, or whoever in-house maybe creates all of these. You've got someone who can speak all of these different languages. That would be super cool. So here's my template. And I can kind of preview all of my different localizations here by just clicking into them and taking a look and seeing all my different content. You can see my image changes, and in some of them, the layout changes, and obviously the text as well. And you can take a look at how that looks. You can also do things, so I could go over and I can preview my different content. Maybe I want to see the Japanese version in particular. I can send tests. All those kinds of things that we do with regular emails, we can do with the localized version. Once I'm done, I can submit it for approval and send my email and all my localizations when published over to my email sending platform. So no matter how your email sending platform handles localizations, Dyspatch can kind of export it in that method. So some email sending platforms use templating. So something like if English, send this text, or if French, send this different text. And we can do that kind of automatically on our end. So you don't have to look at any of that templating language. Because it's Dyspatch too, if you use maybe a different ESP or multiple ESPs, no matter what you send it to, we'll make that change on our end for your ESP. So something like Salesforce Marketing Cloud that uses different versions of the email, so you kind of can have that, send that over and get all the different versions in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. And then in Braze, maybe you send your same email over and it'll be translated in Liquid with their templating language. So no matter where you send it to, it doesn't matter. You're translating it and localizing in Dyspatch in the same way, saving you a lot of time and energy thinking about and looking at localization code. We do that for you. So what are my key takeaways? Let's get to the end here. A pro tip is get modular and localize your headers and footers. So if you think about your emails more in chunks rather than in wholes, you can localize one time instead of having to localize that same similar content in every single email that you put them in. So that's a great time saver. And then don't forget that you can localize more than just text. Things like images, colors, layouts, any part of the email can be localized and be more relevant to whoever's reading it. And then my must do is really basic, but really localize your emails. There's a lot of good studies that maybe we can link to that talk about how your retention, engagement, all kinds of things will increase because you're sending emails that are more relevant and in the language that the people that are reading them speaks. So that makes a big difference in terms of people wanting to purchase and do all kinds of things with your emails. And that's kind of it. Lastly, I'm going to end on our resources. If you want to read more about how we localize in Dyspatch, you can head over to our docs. That's docs.dyspatch.io, or write in and ask us a question. You can reach us at us@dyspatch.io and anytime you like. And that's really all it is for me. Thanks for joining me while I talk about localizing your emails with Dyspatch. And I'll see you later. Bye.